Tonight on CTV News at 5, major changes coming to GO Transit in Kitchener with weekend trips slated to roll out of the city next month. Plus, a community coming together to return a prized possession to its owner after it was stolen at Concordia Club during Oktoberfest. And Guelph Police launching a month-long bicycle safety campaign, but critics say the focus should be educating drivers rather than cyclists. CTV News at 5 starts right now. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. First at 5, weekend GO service is coming to Kitchener, along with a promise that two-way all-day service between Waterloo Region and Toronto will eventually follow. Ontario's Minister of Transportation making the announcement this morning. Let's turn to CTV's Krista Simpson, who has been following this development today. Krista.
Ashley, the long-awaited, long-campaigned for two-way, all-day GO train service to Toronto is one step closer to becoming a reality.
We have reached an agreement in principle with CN Rail to purchase the land necessary to construct additional tracks to separate freight and passenger service through the Halton subdivision.
The government and Metrolinx are now planning to build 40 kilometers of new tracks dedicated to GO trains that will eventually be used for two-way all-day rapid service between Kitchener and Toronto. The agreement with CN also means that starting November 23rd, there will be weekend GO train service in Kitchener, 4 trips to start. It's not yet clear how long it will take for the tracks to be built so that two-way all-day GO train service can actually happen. Kitchener's mayor says the improvements are valuable to the economy and for bettering people's everyday lives.
Having increased rail service so that they don't need to sit on the highway for 2 hours is going to be, really important from a quality of life point of view for people.
We'll have more on this, including reaction from people who use the GO train service tonight at 6. Ashley.
Krista Simpson reporting for us tonight. Thank you, Krista. A Cambridge man is sharing his story of dealing with a package coming through Canada Post, where the delivery driver signed for the package instead of going through the proper process. Let's turn to CTV's Tony Grace for a closer look at this and some of the other news we're following this hour. Good afternoon, Tony.
Well, James Murphy says he received a notification on his phone that a delivery was being made while he was at work and then received a picture of the parcel with a signature on it. Murphy says no one from his household signed for the package. Local Canada Post management told Murphy the driver got permission for it. But when Murphy contacted provincial management, Canada Post apologized and told him the driver was instructed on the proper process.
They go on strike 2 days after this happens, and there's a lot of stuff up in the air about Canada Post as a whole and whatnot. Like, I hate seeing anybody being pushed out of a job or anything with what may be going on eventually with Canada Post, but at the same time, if you're not going to, it's a simple job, It was a simple signature, and don't forge somebody's signature. That was the main thing that really bothered me.
Colton Weens will have more at 6. And also tonight, a Kitchener man's been reunited with a highly personalized piece of clothing, a jacket with sentimental ties to his family and a soccer club that went missing from Concordia Club. After a flurry of social media posts, he's got it back.
Well, whoever the person is that returned it, I thank you very much, and it was the right thing you did, and if you ever want to come see me, I'll buy you a beer for returning it. I appreciate that a lot.
At 6, CTV's Jeff Pickle has more on this story. But for now, Ashley, it's back over to you.
Okay, thank you, Tony. And Alex is here, of course, for our first look at weather. And of course, it was another beautiful fall day. It's hard to complain when the sun's shining, but the air's nice and crisp still.
I was going to say, it's a nice crisp fall day, and especially early in the morning, you may have really noticed how crisp it was, because it was quite chilly. And I know when we took the dog for a walk, we noticed a little bit of frost.
I was just going to say there was a bit of frost on the ground first thing this morning.
Yeah, and speaking of frost, not for us here in Waterloo Region under this frost advisory. So this is mainly for areas where they're still in that peak growing season. So a little bit further south, Chatham, Kent, if you're in the Niagara region, or potentially towards the GTA. Some areas there are under this frost advisory. So again, this could impact some trees that could be prone to, of course, that frost damage, or vegetable plants that again could impact some growing. So something to keep note as well there. And that was also in place yesterday as well. So still with us, 14 degrees right now here in Kitchener-Waterloo. That is our daytime high, and we hit that officially at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Many other areas in southern Ontario sitting in that mid-teen range, so pretty much seasonal for where we should be. Like you said, Ashley, yeah, it's seasonal, but nice to see a little bit of that sunshine. And as we take a live look outside from Victoria Street in the city of Kitchener, just a slight breeze in the air, but yes, when you're standing outside, it's quite comfortable under the sun.
Under the sun.
Under the sun.
And then that shade hits you. It's like, where's my jacket? Okay, thank you, Alex. Looking forward to hearing when that precipitation might be rolling through our region a little later in this show. All right, as we head into our first break, here's what you need to know. The Battle of the 401 is back in action at the Odd tomorrow night. The Rangers are taking on the Knights. Puck drop is at 7 p.m. Tickets are online.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVKitchener.ca, your home for news.
We are back here at the Food Bank of Waterloo Region with CEO Kim Wilhelm. And Kim, we are coming off the heels, of course, of the Oktoberfest Thanksgiving Day Parade. How did it do overall, and what's kind of happening right now here at the Food Bank as well?
Well, it was a beautiful day and our community was incredible. And we are so fortunate to have received 22,000 meals through the Thanksgiving parade. So thanks so much for our community for stepping up and helping our neighbors in need.
In terms of what else is happening here following that, what's pretty much been on the go?
Well, unfortunately, the news isn't good in that we're seeing about a 7% increase in those who are accessing food assistance in the month of September. 26,000 people access the food assistance program 53,000 times, and that was just in the month of September. We continue to see the rise of those who are struggling to afford the basics in life, especially food, and unfortunately, that means more and more people continue to access food assistance.
Now, of course, we're seeing so much great food that was donated over the parade, and in a minute, we're going to see what happens with all the sorting of this great food. But I want to first talk about that food assistance and the need that you're seeing in the community. If you could just give us some insight, you know, a little bit further into the drive and the need that you're seeing throughout.
Well, the cost of living continues to be high. We're seeing about 1 in 3 children are accessing food assistance. Parents are struggling, even 2-income households. Just wages are not keeping pace with the cost of living, and that means that people are turning to other sources of where they can get food. And food isn't something that should be discretionary, but unfortunately it's turning into that. People are forced to make impossible choices each and every day, and whether they buy food or in some cases they're having to pick between food and medication, food and housing, food and a repair on a car that's going to get them to and from their job. And these are impossible choices that no one should have to make.
And what is next for the Food Bank?
Well, we're heading into a busy season. We're always looking for people to help us out through volunteering. As the weather gets colder, there's going to be a continued rise in those who are accessing food assistance. So again, we're asking the community to step up and help your neighbors in need.
Now, Kim, we want to know more about where people can find out information on how to make donations or about volunteering.
Well, the easiest thing to do is head over to our website at thefoodbank.ca, and there's lots of information there, whether you're looking to make a food or financial donation, or if you have extra time in your day and you can volunteer.
All right, this is one of 8 bins that were collected over the Oktoberfest Thanksgiving Parade. And Megan is joining us now because we're actually going to help pull some of these items and sort them. So what should we do? Actually, before we get into it, we're going to have a little bit of help. We've got Ashley here, of course, who you saw just moments ago. We've got Angie, Ray, as well as Emily joining us. So we're going to really be getting put to the test here. But what should we be mindful of, and maybe explain what we should be doing?
Yeah, of course. So like you said, we'll be sorting non-perishable donations that come in. So we are going to have 2 unloaders today. They are responsible for unloading the food up onto the table. And then it goes to our sorters, who are responsible for checking that each item has a best before date and an ingredient list. We want to make sure, obviously, that the food we're sending out is good for people to eat.
Awesome. And of course, to make it a little bit more fun, we've got 2 minutes on the clock. We're going to see how much we can actually sort within that 2-minute period. So we'll see how we do, and then you can rate us later, of course. So Ashley and I are going to be pulling some of these items. I know Angie, Ray, you're going to be pulling them and sorting them, putting them in the correct boxes too. So no pressure, right? No pressure. Okay, we've got set up here.
Okay.
We've got our 2 minutes on the clock, and we'll do a little countdown.
All right, I'll do the honors. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Okay. As quick as we can go, we were told.
Amazing.
All right. Checking those best before dates. Best sorting! The best sorting.
Now, of course, if that looked like a lot of fun, they're looking for 30 teams in January for the 10th annual Great Food Sort Challenge. Emily, tell me about it.
Absolutely. So we invite 30 teams into the warehouse to see who can sort the most amount of food in under an hour. All of our details can be found at thefoodbank.ca/events, and we are registering teams right now, so go on and check that out.
There you go. 30 teams need it. Make sure you get in and sign up while you can. And here's what you need to know. Attention music lovers, it's the Strokes and Oasis tribute night at Maxwell's Concerts tonight. This is a 19+ event. Doors open at 7 p.m. and tickets can be found online.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
All right, so as we know, it's been beautiful and sunny all week, Alex, but I think there's some wet stuff in the forecast, and I've got a little road trip coming up this weekend, so I'm going to need some more details about that.
We need a couple days to maybe pack that umbrella if you are going to be road tripping, especially looking ahead to tomorrow, and then again, maybe even Sunday.
Okay,
so a couple days at
good
least,
to know.
Potentially for a higher chance to see a bit of wet weather, but it looks like at this point, and we'll get into that in just a moment, but Saturday, if you got any outdoor plans, that might be the day.
Saturday's the day.
Yeah, to kind of take advantage of the day, and it could feel a little bit warmer as well. And speaking of the warmth, standing in that sun, if we take a live look from Victoria and Weber Street in the city of Kitchener, nice, clear blue sky, maybe a cloud or two out there, but pretty comfortable, like we said a little bit before too. When you're outside enjoying the day, this is really when you want to take advantage of, you know, when does it feel like this, really, in October? We've been pretty fortunate in that sense. So getting out for a bike ride or a walk, this is the night to do it. And we've been fortunate all day where conditions are pretty nice. But again, do it while you can, because we potentially could be in for a little bit of wet weather on the way. And if you notice first thing in the morning too, you may have noticed some frost out on your grass. Overnight low, 0 is what we hit to. But we are not part of this frost advisory. This is due to the criteria specifically around areas that are still in some peak growing season. So a frost advisory is in place for areas, for example, Chatham-Kent, Burlington, Oakville, or even towards the Niagara region. You are going to be under this frost advisory. So this is where we could see some damage to frost-sensitive fruit trees and vegetable plants in particular. And with these temperatures dropping near that freezing mark overnight tonight into tomorrow, so Friday morning, specifically, again, areas inland from the Great Lakes. So again, in terms of that criteria, that's why we are not here in here in Kitchener-Waterloo, but some areas across southern and southwestern Ontario are under that criteria based, again, on growing season. So futurecast-wise, yeah, mainly clear out there. Not too much to complain about. Like we said, maybe a cloud or two in the sky. It's really not until tomorrow we could see a little bit more of that buildup start to move in Friday morning. And around 10 o'clock or so, this is when we potentially could see a little bit of wet weather for us here in Waterloo region in particular. If you are going to be in the Sarnia area and even a little bit further north, rain potentially heavy at times. There's also a risk of a thunderstorm for some, and that could be with us pretty much for the day. And again, further north as well. So Ashley mentioned she's going to be doing a bit of a road trip, and if you are going to be up north, Barrie, Aurelia, you could, maybe you want to keep that umbrella nearby. But once that system does make its way towards the east, passing us, we could be in for just mainly some mix of sun and cloud for your Saturday. So not too bad. Again, if you are trying to plan any outdoor activities, Saturday might be the day for you because, take a look at that weather system making its way towards us here in Waterloo region. 70% chance of showers is what we're seeing for your Sunday at this point. So temperature-wise, we are sitting at our daytime high, 14 degrees. We hit that around 2 o'clock or so this afternoon. 15 in London, in Hamilton and Toronto right now. So many of us sitting pretty close to that seasonal mark by maybe just a couple of degrees above or not. So overnight, 0 degrees is our expected overnight low. Clear conditions, but we could start to see some fog develop getting into the overnight, and then by the morning, that should dissipate. So tomorrow, 14 is our daytime high, mainly cloudy, and again, 40% chance of showers, but more showers potentially building up in that afternoon hours. And our almanac for the day, yeah, so we're pretty much where we should be for this time of year. Record high 26.7 set on this day, 1947, and -5 back in 1978. And we're noticing that sun setting now 6:38 p.m. I always am surprised every day because, yes, the days are feeling shorter and shorter. So again, looking at your Friday, 40% chance of showers is what we're seeing at this point. High of 14 degrees. Next couple of days, too, our overnight lows are definitely going to be above seasonal. So mix the sun and cloud for your Saturday, and then your Sunday, that's when we're seeing that 70% chance of showers with a high of 16 degrees.
Okay, let's take a look at what's trending. The family of Diane Keaton has confirmed the cause of the Oscar winner's death over the weekend.
The 79-year-old's death was announced on Sunday, but no cause was mentioned at the time. Well, now Keaton's family says she died from pneumonia.
They also say they're grateful for the outpouring of love and support they've received. The statement says any donation in her honor would be best directed to a local food bank or animal shelter.
Well, Netflix says thanks to popular demand, it's bringing its most streamed movie ever back to theaters.
The world will know you as pop stars. But you will be much more than that.
K-pop Demon Hunters became a surprise summer hit on streaming and on the music charts. And in-person sing-along event gave it a #1 at the weekend box office. Netflix says it's bringing back the animated musical fantasy film for another sing-along event over Halloween weekend in several countries, including Canada. Tickets go on sale tomorrow, and I have a niece, Alex, who is going to be very excited. She's dressing up as one of these guys for Halloween.
Very, very popular, I'm sure. Many other.
Make sure my brother takes her tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, Canadian fans of Lord of the Rings are in for a treat next year.
A special cast reunion tour will be making 2 stops in Canada in 2026. One at the Calgary Expo in April, and the other at Toronto's Fan Expo, which is taking place in August. The event is being promoted as an evening with the Hobbits, and it will feature a conversation with the film's actors live on stage. The tour marks 25 years of the release of the first film, believe it or not.
I feel a little older now.
A little scary how quickly time flies.
Perfect time for a commercial break. And here's what you need to know. Do you have a story to tell, a poem to read? Well, head over to Cafe Clementina's in Kitchener tonight for coffee and open mic party. The event runs from 7 to 9 p.m. and is open to anyone. Taking a look at the final 5 stories we're following today. The federal government is getting tougher on crime. Prime Minister Mark Carney says the new bail reform bill is coming next week to crack down on violent and repeat offenders.
The Minister of Justice will be tabling legislation within the next week with strong reforms on bail and sentencing. We're getting violent criminals and repeat offenders off the streets, full stop.
The new law would target those accused of serious crimes such as violent car thefts, breaking and entering, human trafficking, as well as sexual and violent assaults. It's an effort to keep those convicted of violent crimes from being released on bail too easily and reversing the onus on defense attorneys to justify an offender's release. The government also says it's going to hire another 1,000 RCMP officers with $1.8 billion investment over 4 years. We're getting an inside look at Guelph Police Service's Community Safety Operations Center for the first time. Staff say it plays a big role in keeping Guelph safe by utilizing CCTV to enhance community safety. There are currently 19 cameras throughout the downtown core that they say have helped with many investigations since last year.
So these are high-definition cameras that give us great viewing capacity into our downtown. We don't actually stream them live. This is an incident-based driven operation so that we only go into those cameras should an incident be happening, we need to get into them.
There was a community engagement event today to talk about the plan to expand the program. Heather Senerin will have more at 6. And staying with the Guelph Police Service, they've launched a bike safety campaign this month geared towards two-wheeled traffic. It aims to increase awareness throughout engagement and enforcement. Officers are encouraged to inform cyclists through in-person interactions. But advocates say cyclists shouldn't be the sole targets of the campaign, and a message needs to be sent to motorists as well.
I'm not saying that we are not equal in having responsibilities on the road. It's just where we are focusing our energies into actually creating something that will promote safety long-term and public trust.
Alexander Hollick will have more on the campaign in the next hour. Well, the Toronto Blue Jays are making a comeback, winning against the Mariners last night. It was desperately needed, taking Game 3 of the American League Championship Series in a spectacular display of hitting against Seattle. Last night's win giving Toronto its first win of the series. Here's more from some fans celebrating in Seattle last night.
It was awesome. It was like incredible. Like, Cal Raleigh hit the home run at the end there. I live in Seattle. Been a Blue Jays my whole life fan. I did fantastic. It's going to go 7 games. The Jays are going to win it.
Finally, we're playing like the Blue Jays play.
On a third one. Home, and we're taking the World Series. All right. It's coming to Toronto.
The Jays have the juice.
Game 4 is set for tonight in Seattle. First pitch will be at 8:30. The Jays will be back in Toronto for Game 5 tomorrow. And finally for us tonight, a video from an animal removal company in Southern Ontario is going viral.
All right, buddy, hang on.
A raccoon was stuck needing some help getting out of a hole in a home in London. The owner called wildlife control and a worker used a rope to gently pull the raccoon out. It quickly jumped down the ladder and ran away unharmed. The video of the encounter has been viewed more than 12 million times. Very cute indeed. Well, that is our time. Thank you for watching. We'll have more local news coverage with Tony Grace at 6. For now, here's CTV National News.